In the Wimmera Football League, it is time for us to take a look at the wider view after catching up with Coleman earlier and that Southern Mallee Giants side that just got nailed in the end by Stall, who are the top of the table. It's Scotty Stewart to report from the Warracknabeal Herald. Hey, Scotty, how are you?
Hey, Wayne, how you going? Good.
Yeah, real good. I thought it was good to read the results that the Warwick Eagles boys have been getting a fair bit of pasting in the first couple of rounds. Got home with 10 goals on their credit. Unfortunately, they didn't get home with the result, but they were at home at Anzac Park kicking 10 goals, and they were beaten by Horsham 16-11 to 10-3. An improved performance on the scoreboard by your boys.
Yeah, it definitely was. Wayne, it was not a bad game of footy actually to watch. The Eagles jumped out of the blocks in the first quarter, and the first couple of goals on the board, and everything was looking pretty good. And they're moving the ball well, and both sides were hitting the contest pretty well. You see throughout the scores, though, the Horsham side, they settled. They had a bit of a rev up from their coach, joint coach there, Geordie Burke, at quarter time, and he got into them a little bit, and they responded pretty well in that second quarter, kicking 6 goals to 2. And if you just go through the scores of the rest of the game, 4 goals to 2, 4 goals to 2. So an even contest, but the Horsham boys, they were able to convert their chances. They settled in defence pretty well, and they were able to just restrict the scoring a bit. But the AL lads had a good hit out. The young fellas, they had a good day too.
Yeah, they certainly did. And Pope with 4 for Horsham. It was the legend Conboy was on song, and Patterson, Carberry, Wynn and Scott. But on your side of the ledger, a Young Dane Stewart couple, Penny can play this, C. Penny 2, Yench and Wilson also 2. And the better players, D. Stewart, C. Penny, J. Wilson, D. Penny, M. Baker and J. Sobey. Great to see some of your kids there and the better players there, mate.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And, just talking there before, and, they did. They played really a good game of footy last Saturday. Young Dane, he had his best game for the year, and Charlie, he was right up there with them as well. And you mentioned Jack Wilson too. He played his 100th game last week, and they put in a really good performance. So they're continuing to make inroads, and they're just enjoying the footy. They would have enjoyed last week a lot more than the previous weeks, but it was good to see.
Okay, across other senior matches, and it was a beauty from Stall. They got over the Southern Mallee Giants by 2 points in a thriller, and they've come to play this year, Stall. They've certainly improved.
I looked at that result on Saturday night when they come through, and I thought, that's a really good effort by Stall. I wasn't sure if they were going to get the chocolates on that occasion there, and they've done it from coming from behind at that quarter time too. The 1-3 to 4-6 at quarter time, but 5 goals to 2 to 3 in the second quarter got them going, and by all accounts, a bit of a thriller. Maybe it was one that got away from the Giants 8-17 with the inaccurate kicking, but. The two key forwards of the league went head-to-head, Cody Driscoll and Brock Orville kicking 9 between them, so it would have been a good battle there.
Certainly would have been Brock Orville injured in the match too, along with Ben Webster, and we'll get to that in a moment. But in other matches, the Horsham Saints 13-17 beating Nil 2-8. It's going to be a long, hard season for the Nil Tigers.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to have a bit of a battle up forward there. Young Drew Snyder kicking their 2 goals last week, which was good for the young fella. But I think the Saints would have been too strong right across the board for the Nil lads there.
And what about Timboola? They beat Ararat, and this at home, the Roos 12-13-85 to the Rats 9-7-61. There may be a mouse plague around, but it certainly had no impact on the Kangaroos.
No, they didn't, and this more reports. This game was it was pretty tight right through. Dimmy, we were just able to maintain that break, and as much as Ararat challenged, Dimmy always had the answers, and they come away with a pretty good win on their home deck, so that was good for them.
Now, of course, had a chat, as you know, with Coleman earlier, and with Nil and the Giants playing at Davis Park. No junior competition as such here, because the Giants don't have a 17s and Nil don't have a 14, so they're going to be having Auskick and a scratch match out there for the day. That is a concern, obviously, in Wimmera football, to see a junior football not being played, Scotty.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. I didn't realise that until you said it. It's no 14 for nil and no 17s for the Giants. So yeah, I suppose it was always going to happen a couple of times throughout the season. But it'll be a different day, won't it? The kids will get down. Sounds like they'll still have a bit of a run around in a scratch match, but. You'd hope that that those things don't happen all the time, but it is what it is, isn't it? And if the kids aren't quite there, well, you make do with what you can, and it's good that they get there and have a scratch match. But the senior sides it'll be an interesting day for them.
Yeah, it will be. The Giants, I think, with a lot of injuries. Brought Ben McGee, Jimmy Ray, Michael Saunders, Tyler Lehman and Brad O'Cara all back into senior football. Matt Bellinger came in last week for Jack Landrigan and will play again this weekend in that side. So a lot of changes in the Giants. I think they'll still win. Mindy Matoa take on Horsham Saints at Coghlan Park, and this is going to be an absolute belter of a game.
Yeah, this will be up there with match of the round. Definitely here. I think, what do we got here? Third versus fifth. I think there's a couple of matches this round where the top five are going to meet each other. So this is one of them. And I'm thinking the Mindy Matoa might be a little bit too strong just in this one because they're coming off a bye. Maybe they might be a little bit fresher than the Horsham Saints. But in saying that, you've got Horsham Saints on their home ground, and that's always tough. This won't be a high-scoring affair at all. It'll be a dour struggle right to the end, and it'll be a good test for both sides, but I think it'll be a really good test for Mindy Matoa because we know they've had a bye and they're coming off that 1 point loss to the Giants. So I'm thinking, Johnny Delahunty will be pretty keen to hunt this one down and get the points. But this will be a big struggle.
It will be. Dimboola plays Stawell in another one of the big matches of the round down at Stawell. Another home deck for them. It's a couple in a row. The Kangaroos, they need to get down there and to do some damage. Can they do it? I've got a reckoning. This could be the upset brewing of the round.
Yeah, this will be. This is top two at the moment. This is the undefeated Stawell and second place Dimboola. So top spot is pretty much on the line with this game. And Stawell, ultra impressive last week with that win over the Giants, but. Dimboola on their home deck. They'll treat this as a huge challenge, and I think Justin Bugler, the Dimmy coach, will really put it to his side to really have a real good game, and maybe just stamp something over the competition. And on their home ground, you'd like their chances. So I'm thinking they might get up, but again, we said there before about last week with Brock and Cody Driscoll having a bit of a shootout. If they can limit Cody Driscoll down there in the Warriors forward line, that'll go a long way. But if they can't do that, well, she's going to be battle on. But I'm thinking near Dimmy just.
All right. The Warwick Eagles travel down to the home of the Ararat Rats at Alexandra Oval. The Eagles are improving. Young squad, a couple more injuries last week won't help, but it's going to be a tough outing down there. And what will probably be some pretty cool conditions.
Yeah, I think so. Wayne there, spot on. I think word sort of went around that she's going to be cool. I think it's going to be a fine day, but it's going to be pretty cool. Be just into the teens down there at Alexandra Oval, but it's always nice down there. The great ground, good surface. It's a big ground, and it's going to test the Eagles out for sure, because as you said there, they're going to go in with a couple more that joined that injury list, which is real concerning for them because they haven't got the greatest of depth at the moment, but they've just got to get through this stage of they're just hamstring injuries. The soft tissue ones that they're pulling up. There was a couple of boys last week that pulled up with leg injuries. One Jordan Taylor and the forward Dalton Gent. So those two boys, unfortunately, aren't going to be there this weekend, which is going to put a lot more pressure on the kids again, because I've still got the coach Danny Bell. He's still having another spell, and Ryan McKenzie, he's just resting a hamstring as well. So it'll put a pressure on, and it's interesting this one because and it's only us older players or former players, I suppose, recognise this, but we're going down there to play our former coach, premiership coach there in Matty Walder, who's in charge of the Rats, obviously, and that'll be interesting down there. The see how Matty goes with up against one of his old sides, I suppose. But look, I think the Rats will, with their leg speed and home ground, and the kids down there will prove too strong, because just the Eagles boys are just a little bit undermanned at the moment. So
certainly are, but I'll tell you what, in the under-14s there'll be a brilliant match, because both sides are in the top two, so that's going to be great for your kids as they head down there. Tough outing for the top side Ararat, but then I know that they got nailed last week too against the Horsham side, so maybe a bit of a reality check coming the way for the young lads from Warracknabeal.
Could be, I think, Wayne. I think the Ararat predominantly always strong in the juniors, and Horsham there, they pretty well touched up the young Eagles lads last week, but they'll have a fair crack. They'll have an early start, and they'll be kicking the dew off pretty well early in the morning. But Ararat, they've renowned very strong in the juniors. Certainly
are. And Scotty Stewart, good to get your report on it, and look forward to you coming on board next week and reviewing what's happened in rounds of matches in the Wimmera football. We'll catch up with you next week.
Yeah, no worries. Good on you, Wayne.